Last time I saw you was at the well, I guess the symposium here, the Players Symposium, to, I guess, learn a little bit more about the communication and TV world, right here in Los Angeles. Last time I saw you there, correct?
Yeah, broadcast boot camp.
That's a broadcast boot camp, right? So, what'd you pick up there? What are you picking up on that front, Darren Waller?
I really saw how much of a craft it is for you guys to go up and do what you do every day. It's not just showing up and just talking and, spouting off at the mouth. It's a lot of research, a lot of practice, a lot of repetition that goes into what you guys do, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously. So I got a lot of respect for that.
Okay. So, some of us do spout off at the mouth, though, still, Darren. There's no doubt about that. But so you're doing that in advance of this podcast? I mean, you're trying to get better at this craft, or you have an eye for down the road, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of people have told me that I have a voice for something like this. So I was like, why not pursue it and learn something? And it definitely helped me as far as the podcast is concerned. And, yeah, maybe a potential career down the road, but yeah, I'm just open to learning any way I can right now.
And so the stories are about, I'll give you the floor. I know what they're about, but you can do the best job explaining what your podcast is to everybody who wants to hear about it and know about your story and others. Darren.
Yeah. So Comeback Stories, that's me and my co-host Donnie Starkin. It was actually Donnie's idea. Donnie, he actually reached out to me after the Hard Knocks thing aired and was like, he saw me sharing my story on there. He's like, I have to, get to know this guy. And he had already been working with like Tyrann Mathieu and worked with DeAndre Hopkins with like yoga and life coaching and things like that. So, just from the conversations that we had, was real raw and vulnerable. We became really good friends. And he was like, we need to make this a podcast. We need to make a platform out of these conversations and invite, successful men, successful women, just successful people on here so they can share about adversity they've overcome that helps them get to where they are today. So we've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of really cool people that a lot of people know who they are, and it's just been an awesome journey so far.
Yeah, Carson Daly, Alex Smith, we know his comeback story, Danica Patrick, Tyrann Mathieu in previous season, Michael Vick and Michael Phelps this year. What about you? How are you still writing your story, Darren Waller?
For me, I feel like I'm still writing my story by continuing to try to be the best version of myself that I can, not settle for the progress I have made and for the things that I have accomplished, but to continue to, strive for improvement and to strive for more and to strive for, a platform and an impact that, impacts as much people as I can through what I've been through and the experiences that I've gained throughout my life. So it's just continuing to keep the foot on the gas and to, try to reach new heights and try to bring people with me.
What do you tell people, Darren Waller, who are battling any addiction, regardless of what it may be, about finding the willpower? What do you tell folks about that and the struggle to find it and the struggle to continue it? What's your answer to that, Darren?
So for me, I feel like just the disease of addiction in itself, it isolates you. It keeps you away from people. It puts a lot of shame and guilt on you, and it makes you not want to tell anyone about what's really going on. And, you think that you're not being a burden on somebody else's life or that you're protecting your image, but really you're just harming yourself in private where nobody else can really get to you or see where you're at. So for me, in order for me to have the power to change, it took a power higher than me and believing in that. And I believe that that's the case for, anyone that really truly wants freedom from whatever they're addicted to. But yeah, it took therapy. It took, just building community around me of people that I could really be honest, because a lot of people have secrets and things that they're like, I would never tell anybody this. But until you tell those people that, you'll never be as free as you want to be.
So is that still a road that you're on, Darren?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to my therapist once a week. I have a sponsor that I sit down, read with, and talk with once a week. I got young dudes that I mentor now, and just guys that I get with, and we just keep it real when we talk, because it's like, if you're not, those things start to weigh on you, and you get more anxious. You just feel more bogged down when it's like you don't share what may be going on in your day to day. But when you share it, you just feel freer. You can go back into whatever you do with a better mindset, a better attitude, and just a better perspective.
Well, I mean, it just seems to me, and again, this may be a generalization, living in Vegas where there's, trappings all around must be significantly difficult. Is that true? Unfair? Fair? What do you say to that, Darren?
I feel like that is a fair assumption for sure. But for me, I've had to, this is where I feel like God has a sense of humor, just because I've been here and, I feel at peace more than I ever have been. And I've had my relationships with, the men in my life that I lean on and I, commune with on a week-to-week basis, like, are stronger than ever. And I can just be honest with them. And I just feel protected here. I feel safe here. I feel welcomed here. It's crazy to think like in a city like Vegas, like, how could you possibly, stay sober or thrive being sober? But it's like, I couldn't imagine being in a better place for my recovery and for me to continue writing my story.
I mean, do you have a feeling of success every day you don't go in that direction, right? I mean, does that empower as well, Darren?
Yeah, I feel like success is a lot different for me these days. It's waking up and not having an attitude of self-centeredness, because that's what addiction created in me. It's like, how do I get mine? How do I get high whenever I want? And whatever the consequences or commitments or accountability I have just got thrown out the window. So today it's like, if I wake up with an attitude of selflessness and I try to give to wherever, whether I'm in the building with the team or if I'm in the community or in relationships that I have, like if I'm trying to give rather than just get something out of it, that's success for me. If my attitude's where it needs to be, whatever I'm preparing for and the effort that I put into whatever I do, if those things are there, that's success for me. And I feel like God will handle the results of things as long as, I make things bigger than just me.